The permanent voters card PVC enables registered voters to exercise their civic right to vote in general elections. No citizen can vote without the PVC. Little wonder there was an upsurge in the continuous voter registration which ended in July, indicating a political awakening among Nigerians. PVC registration has since ended, but PVC collection is ongoing in all local government areas in the country and will end on the 22nd of January 2023. What is the collection rate so far and what generally are the issues around the PVC? We will find out on this episode of 30 Minutes. Welcome to the program and compliments of the season. I am Mitaire Ikpen. After the 2015 and 2019 general elections, a huge backlog of uncollected PVCs were domiciled in INEC offices in parts of the country. As the nation moves closer to the 2023 general elections, how eager are Nigerians to collect their PVCs after registration? Let's find out from Olusheye Adeagbo.
The Permanent Voters Card (PVC) is what enables registered voters exercise their civic right to vote in general elections. The information stored on the PVC include biometric data such as physical attributes as well as thumbprints and others, which are electronically programmed and can only be read or accessed electronically with a card reader. Nigeria's electoral umpire, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), introduced the use of PVCs in the 2015 general elections to replace the laminated paper temporary voters card following its many shortcomings for conducting a standard, zero malpractice, and generally acceptable, free and fair election.
It's a permanent voters card because of its unique nature. We said right from 2011 that we created an electronic voters register. And we told people that once you register, you don't need to register again in your lifetime. That the register is an electronic register, is a living register. That's what makes it permanent, the unique feature and the tendency for the cards to last a long time. We actually designed a card to last up to 10 years.
Now that INEC has deployed beavers, what it means is they will either use your thumbprint or use facial recognition to get you accredited, which authenticates you in the system, and then you will be issued a ballot paper to cast your ballot and put it in the ballot box.
The PVC being the only available mode of identification for every Nigerian to exercise his constitutional right to vote and be voted for has been a much sought after card in almost every nook and cranny of the country, as it is pertinent for every patriotic citizen of 18 years and above to have the PVC ready to cast their votes. Actors driving the country's electioneering process have been advocating and mobilizing people on the importance of having the PVC and the consequences of not safeguarding it.
If you look at where we're coming from 2011, 2015 elections, 2019, and going into 2023, yes, Nigerians are becoming more conscious and aware of the importance of their permanent voters card, but most importantly casting their ballots, because when we interact with people on the street, some people who had their PVC since 2011 or 2015, they've never used it, but now they're very enthusiastic and they're excited to use their permanent voters card in 2023 election. So yes, people are really getting informed and aware and they're excited about it.
Please stop selling your PVCs. We've gotten reports that people are buying PVCs. The thing is, politicians buying PVCs cannot use it because with the beavers, they will not be able to use it. So what they are doing is when they buy your PVC, it affects the candidate you want to vote for because people are buying PVCs to rig elections technically. Because when you take away PVCs from people, you suppress the votes of the people in that location. So for voters selling your PVC, you're only doing it yourself. The politicians buying it cannot use it. But most importantly, the new Electoral Act criminalizes buying and selling of PVCs to almost 2 months imprisonment or a fine of over 500,000. So you can imagine that you could get fined and also get an imprisonment or either of both. So as a voter, just take note that you can also be arrested for selling. It's not those buying alone. The law says for those buying and selling, if you're caught, you will be arrested and prosecuted.
These are respondents who already have their permanent voters card explaining to me how easy or difficult the process was for them.
Initially, it was not difficult, but when the deadline was coming, because there was rush, so it was not becoming difficult. So because I went there early, it took me about 10-15 minutes to get mine. In fact, I kept it very well. It's part of my other credentials I keep, so that it will not get missing.
I was, unlike the previous years, I was there in less than 30 minutes it was given to me. Oh, I need nobody as a legal practitioner to know that a voter's card is a card of value. In fact, I place more value on my voter's card more than my ATM card.
But for you to even queue on the line, the time you have to go and spend there is another thing. So it's tedious.
It is very difficult, very, very difficult. Like my own, they steal my own in GSM village. It takes me longer time before to get another one.
I will use my voter's card rightly, judicially, to ensure that I vote person of my choice.
INEC have since announced that those who are yet to obtain their voters card can do so between 12th December 2022 to 22nd January 2023. This has caused many to rush to various collection centers, as the collection of PVC is said to be available at INEC offices at each of the 774 local government areas. These members of civil society organizations who have been following PVC collection rates in Nigeria speak on challenges identified in the process.
So what we're seeing across the country is the issue around capacity on the part of the Electoral Commission. So you have a large number of people who want to collect the PVC, but you don't have adequate manpower to meet these needs. The other thing is also the infrastructure within the system. So what are the things that ought to happen in the collection? When I'm a voter, I come to collect my PVC. Before you issue me the PVC, INEC is supposed to, the rule is that INEC takes note of the individual, their details, their phone number, because someone has to document this to certify that individual has collected the PVC before giving it. I know collection is not by proxy, you have to come in person. But beyond that, because INEC is deploying technology, there's supposed to be another official who records this information and sends it electronically to INEC so that it is documented electronically. However, they don't have sufficient devices to do that. So some of these INEC officials are actually using their phones and their personal data to do this. Within the system itself, there is that major deficit on providing adequate work facilities and equipment just so that the system is smooth and fast. So imagine if the individual does not have data, because you don't have centrally provided internet across board. So if there's no data on the phone, or the phone is not working, or the person does not have a smartphone that can do this speedily, it means the process is delayed or slowed, or that process is not done efficiently.
When you look at the continual voter registration, it was an exciting moment because there was a momentum that was built by the media and civil society, where we got over 4 million people registered in the system. And now, when you look at the collection of the permanent voters card, sadly, we're not seeing that momentum. Even INEC, INEC National Commissioner has come out to cry and said that people are not coming out as much as they had expected, that they will come and collect their PVC. And what are the issues? Yes, INEC has integrated technology in the process, but they've not truly automated it. What do I mean? Today, if you want to collect your ATM card in the bank, you get an SMS saying your ATM is ready. This is the branch you should go and collect it from. But if a lot of people we interact with, and when we're observing this collection across the country, because we've deployed 20,000 people who are collecting real-time situation reports for us, people go to local government office of INEC and they say, oh, your permanent voter's card is not ready. Come back another time. And a lot of people transport themselves through and through. And we all know that with the current hardship in the country, a lot of people cannot afford basic. And then these people would go to this office and they say they're not right. So a lot of people are losing interest. So I think that there's an opportunity here how INEC can bridge this gap. So they need to work with telecommunication companies where they can integrate SMS, bulk SMS platform, and let them do a broadcast. Mind you, they got the budget allocation, and no single kobo was removed from the submission from INEC. So they got money from the Nigerian people, and they should deploy these resources. I also think that, the Minister of Interior have a role to play. Ralph Aregbesola, I think he should advise the president and declare a national holiday, just one day, where it's set aside that, okay, we're declaring this national holiday for people to have time to go and collect their PVC, because there's a lot of people who work 9 to 5 and they don't have, and some people work, from Monday to Saturday.
But Victor Aluko, INEC's Director of Voter Education and Publicity, the situation is under control.
There are no challenges as such. The only challenge is the challenge of managing any local government office where there's a crowd, managing the crowd there, because that's the only challenge you can talk about. Apart from that, there's no challenge. The cards there, all people need to do is just go and collect your card. If you get there and you see that there are a number of people, you can go back and come another day. Or you can just decide to be patient and definitely you get your cards. From January 6 to January 15, a period of 10 days, we move collection to centers in the registration areas of the country. Registration areas are what people call wards. In INEC, we call them registration areas. This is the wards of the country. There are 8,809 all over the country. And we move registration to ward level, to centers in those wards. They're actually closer to people. And anyone who wants to collect cards could collect in those places. Then from 16th January again to 22nd, we revert to the local government to our local government offices. This is the arrangement we have provided.
While the electoral umpire says it has also resolved to ensure easy collection of permanent voter cards, election observers are impressed with the increased awareness among Nigerians to get their PVCs and guide it jealously in readiness for the 2023 general elections.
Guard it jealously indeed, but there have been disturbing reports of some persons selling their PVCs for a pittance, indicating either ignorance on the part of perpetrators or desperation on the part of politicians. Why will anyone want to sell his or her PVC is the big question, and Thomas Mitaire has answers.
The importance of Permanent Voters Card (PVC) issued by the Independent National Electoral Commission to enable registered Nigerians who are 18 and above to vote during elections cannot be overemphasized. It is one thing to be old enough to vote, it is another thing to register, collect PVC and be able to vote. The PVC gives eligible Nigerians the right to vote and have a say on the choice of leaders come 2023. It is however worrisome that some people are willing to sell their PVC for close to nothing, as reported in recent times. The question is, why will people want to sell their PVCs?
Anytime you see any citizen selling his or her PVC, the first reason is ignorance. They still do not understand the power embedded in the PVC they carry. If you know the importance of the PVC you are carrying, you will know that that signifies a future, a better future for you in life, especially as a citizen of our nation. So if you decide to sell your PVC, what you are simply doing is that you are selling, number one, your peace. You are selling, number two, your good welfare. You are selling, number three, the security you desire for your nation, and so many other things. And like we always say in other palaces, that you also sell the future of your children. So whenever you see anybody selling his or her PVC, it's not because the person is poor, but it's because of ignorance. Because if you know that this is the power you have, you will not want to dispose of your power anyhow.
Secondly,
there are some people who believe that they can still bypass our processes and procedures by engaging in identity theft, and that when they buy up PVCs, they can hand it over to other people, and they can use those PVCs to vote. The type of processes and procedures we have in place, and the type of technology-driven process we are putting in place is such that no individual can vote for another individual. So buying up PVC is an exercise in futility. In fact, it's something that nobody should even engage in. But there are some people who are optimistic that they have the capacity and they have the power and the ability to bypass the beavers. But from our own side, we know that the beavers is a robust instrument for election purposes and that you cannot bypass it. The time we had incident form, it was possible for you to bypass the beavers because we were using the smart card reader. But the commission has retired the smart card reader, retired incident forms. So we are now in the era of the beavers, and you cannot bypass the beavers.
As important as the PVC may be to the outcome of the 2023 general elections and democracy by extension, it is believed that some persons are still ignorant of its importance. Among those who are ignorant, according to experts, are those who still believe that the 2023 general election can be manipulated in spite of the use of technology. There are those who still feel that election results can be forged. Hence, they don't attach the needed value and importance to their PVCs. Nevertheless, buying or selling of PVC is a punishable offense.
Both a willing buyer and a willing seller are committing electoral offense, electoral infraction. And their punishments prescribed in the Electoral Act. It is also a crime for you to use someone's PVC to attempt to go and vote. It's a crime. And if you approach the polling unit on election day and we find out that you are engaged in identity theft, we order for your arrest. So I think that it is in the interest of those who have bought up these PVCs to keep those PVCs with them. Because if we know that it is with them, we will proceed against them. If they attempt to give it to anybody to come and vote with, we are going to proceed against them. And so there are a plethora of offenses in our Electoral Act, and also a plethora of punishment prescribed for those who are found in possession of PVC that does not belong to them, those who attempt to buy PVCs, those who attempt to sell PVCs, and all those who attempt to engage in one electoral infraction or the other. The law has prescribed varying degrees of punishment for these categories of people.
There are calls for more awareness and orientation on the importance of the PVC to be given to Nigerians, especially at the grassroots.
Everybody involved in the electoral process, in the INEC, both the NYC, and the corpers, their youth corps members they are going to use, and their staff, they should also ensure that they are able to shun financial inducement in manipulating electoral figures and results.
I think that is also important for us to also educate them on the new innovations that the Commission has introduced. And we have offices in the 704 local government areas of the Federation. And some of our jingles, some of our documents have been translated into the local languages. And we are running jingles on television, on the radio, and also interfacing with traditional rulers, community leaders, and religious leaders in order to educate them on the things we are doing as at present. And so we are going to intensify both civic and voter education to get our people, especially those in the rural areas and in the urban centers.
Another issue of concern is that of underage PVC holders. There are fears that it may affect the outcome of the 2023 general election, but INEC is unequivocal that parents of underage voters who are found on queue will be prosecuted alongside their children.
In our electoral process, there has been some underage registrations of persons who are visibly underage and who have registered. We have used our biometric identification system to weed out multiple and double registrants. And we have also done what we call manual adjudication to remove visibly underage persons. But we want to warn that only persons who have attained the age of 18 are qualified to vote in any election. And we are already in consultation and in synergy with the various security agencies to make sure that visibly underage individuals do not approach any of our polling units on election day. And if any visibly underage person approaches any of our polling units and attempts to vote, the person will be arrested. And when an underage person commits an offense, we can proceed against the parents. So I think that parents should be very, very careful about allowing their visibly underage wards from attempting to near any of our polling units on election day, not to talk of trying to exercise any form of franchise.
Concerns have also been expressed over people who reportedly get away with electoral offences, as only a few persons are believed to have been prosecuted for electoral offences in the past.
We have secured conviction in Sokoto for those who were found in possession of PVCs that does not belong to them. We have secured conviction in Kano for some persons who were also found with PVCs in Kano. They have already been convicted.
There is, however, growing advocacy for prompt prosecution of not just electoral offenders, but erring candidates who violate the provisions of the Electoral Act.
The only sanction is that they should be prosecuted, and not just prosecuting them, but timely prosecution. When other people see that those who are found wanting are prosecuted timely, they will desist from doing such, from assisting the politician in manipulating the electoral process. I think that's just it.
INEC also sounded tough on its readiness to deal with anyone, including its own staff, who dares to involve in any form of electoral malpractices before, during, and after the 2023 general election.
So all those people who engaged in multiple or double registration, and those who register visibly underage, they are facing disciplinary proceedings within the commission as of today. Because first and foremost, they are public officers, or they are public servants. And there's a code of conduct that binds them. And when you breach any of those codes, you may be subject to termination, you may be subject to dismissal, and so on. The moment we are through with our internal processes and procedures, if we establish that they have committed electoral offenses, we will also prosecute them, because we have the power to prosecute them. If we don't want to prosecute them, we can also hand them over to the police to prosecute them.
The need for security agencies, observers, and other stakeholders to live above board and play according to the rules of the game was also emphasized.
He said every one of us are stakeholder in the electoral process, right? Let's start from the electorate themselves. They are the critical stakeholder. Do not sell your PVC. Do not let anybody manipulate your mind in selling your vote. Number two, I go to the security agencies who are to provide security at the various polling centers. Let everybody be above board. Be an unbiased umpire to the security agencies. Now to the civil society and the NGOs who are going to be monitoring the electoral process. Let them come with a neutral mind. At times, some of them come with a prepared mind on what they want to see. Whenever you come with a prepared mind on what you see, even when the right thing is being done, you still want to tailor your report to the negative aspect of voting, especially how they see us in the African setting. So let the NGOs and those who are going to be observing and monitoring the electoral process come with a neutral mind. Report what you see, not what you want to report.
While the outcome of the 2023 general elections will define the future of Nigeria, Nigerians are advised to guard their PVC jealously, never to sell it, but use it to vote wisely.
Many thanks, Thomas, for your package. And to you out there, remember that the PVC is your power and license to vote and elect credible leaders. Visit the INEC offices to get yours, and do not trade it for the proverbial pot of porridge. Till we bring you another interesting episode of 30 Minutes, I am Mitaire Ikpen. Bye for now.